Welcome to ZXTech podcast episode 1. This is going to be the start of something. Hopefully, I'll try to do it like week in, week out. Maybe I'll start to upload this on Sundays instead. I'm not too sure. I'm still figuring things out. But I figured there's so many kind of opinions I have about the tech world. I love to have discussions about these kind of things. So I figured let me just make a podcast. This is not going to be like a really fancy schmancy podcast where it's going on Spotify and all that. Maybe in the future if it picks up. But for now, ZXTech podcast on YouTube. Today we're talking about a very interesting topic. It's going to be consoles versus PC, the classic gaming debate that's raged on for 20 years at this point. With the new PS5 and Xbox Series X, I actually believe, even as a PC, kind of really PC heavy guy, the consoles are a better buy. And we're going to be talking about that in this episode. I'm actually recording this intro after I've recorded the whole kind of opinion piece I've had, this whole rant I've had, because I forgot to record the intro at the start. So welcome to episode 1 of ZXTech podcast. Subscribe if you want to see more tech videos and other sort of videos. I'm not only going to be doing tech right now, I'm going to be doing other stuff in the future, but tech is going to be the main focus. So let's get into it. Look, I know this channel's very PC biased. We talked a lot about PC rigs and PC things, and I guess to a certain extent PCs have a lot of great value, and that's why I've always recommended building PCs and stuff for a lot of people. But with the release of the new next-gen consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X coming in at $400 to $500 each, USD of course, I'm starting to feel like, I think for a lot of people, buying those consoles are going to be a better purchase option than building a PC. Let me explain. So before I start talking about my opinion on this matter, I'd just like to say that the whole PC Master Race movement thing came about when really started to pick up with the PS4 and the Xbox One kind of release, because those two consoles were underwhelming, and I think it's likely because they had such a good market share at that point in time that basically they didn't really care. Microsoft and Sony didn't really care to pump up their performance to really innovate with those consoles. But at that point in time, PCs were already starting to accelerate and catch up, and with the launch of Ryzen recently, AMD pushing Intel forward, and there's a lot of competition in the market. With the increased competition in the PC market, basically what has happened is that consoles had fallen behind in the last 5 years with the last generation of consoles. And even Xbox One X, Xbox One S, PS4 Pro, all these things that were attempts to help consoles catch up in terms of performance and value basically fell short. But of course, Sony, Microsoft, they're not going to take this lying down. They're massive tech conglomerates, and unlike Intel, most tech companies know that they need to catch up and actually put in effort to catch up. So what they basically did with the PS5 and Xbox One Series X was come out guns a-blazing with brand new technologies and very interesting things that put them back on the same level playing field as PCs, and with aggressive pricing that consoles always have had. The PS5 and the Xbox One Series X are looking like more and more of a very compelling purchase option that might be even better than building a PC. So now that we talked a little bit about the history, let me talk about this new gen of consoles. Why do I think that it's actually a better purchase for a lot of people than building a PC? First off, I've already said, it's the aggressive pricing. The Xbox One Series X comes in at $500, and the PS5 comes in at only $400 assuming you don't use Blu-ray. And I know a lot of people that don't really care for Blu-ray. And the Xbox Series X supports Blu-ray with the $500 model, and the PS5 model with Blu-ray supports is about 500 USD. So it's about 400 to 500 US dollars depending on the exact features you want. But basically what you're looking at is a full-on gaming system with everything included that's plug and play, ready to go for just 400 to 500 US dollars. And if you compare that to the PC part prices, you're not going to be able to touch the performance you can get from the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X at all with a PC build. Of course, there's still the advantages that a PC build is not just used for gaming. You can use it for work, you can use it for working from home, you can use it for video editing, content creation, making money on the side with graphic designs, creating stuff, managing businesses, all that crazy things that PCs have done for years. But the thing is, most PC users are already, they already have a laptop, and most people who are trying to get work done, they generally flock to laptops just so they can work on the go, and just so they have more of a compact, sleek, all-in-one system. So if you're doing work, you probably want to do it on a laptop. I'm not saying that working on a PC is a stupid idea. I think it's a good thing to work on a PC, and PCs have that extra inherent value that allows you to do a lot of different things. Apart from gaming, which is an advantage over consoles. But consoles, if you're just talking pure gaming machines, for $400 to $500, if you're looking at the performance it's promising to bring, the PS5 and the new Xbox, they're really, really appealing options. So it's looking really spicy for the gaming industry. So if you look at the specs, you might not be too impressed, I think, of these two consoles. They use essentially the same chip from AMD, the Zen 2 CPU with 8 cores. I think it's 8 or 16 gigs of RAM. They used kind of an APU system with big Navi. They used, just basically AMD parts in there. But I think it's not fair to compare console specs with PC specs, because frankly, they are different. They're different beasts. PC specs are designed to be modular, interchangeable. Computer hardware, it's very reliant on driver support and individual optimizations. When it comes to consoles, these parts are basically fixed for the next 4 to 5 years, and that means that it's going to be way more optimized than PC. So even if Zen 2 architecture is going to be old tech in a year when Zen 3 comes out from AMD, I think it's likely that these consoles are going to be able to keep up with the new PCs with 5000 series Ryzen CPUs with the new Zen 3 architecture, just because of better optimization. So if we ignore the specs and let's just talk about the potential performance that these systems can deliver, that it looks very appealing towards the console side of things. Because for $400 to $500, where are you going to get a system that can game at 4K 30p, 4K 30 FPS, 4K 60, even 4K 120, depending on what games you're playing, at a pretty steady locked frame rate? Where are you going to get where are you going to get a PC that can do that? Where are you going to get a PC that can really give you that level of performance and pretty consistently? And also you have to factor in the fact that these PS5s and Xbox Series X, they're plug and play. You don't have to learn, you don't have to build a PC. A lot of people don't want to do that, and just having something that looks good in the living room that plugs in very easily, it's convenient and works well. And another thing is that they're very small form factor relative to PCs. If you're looking at a value PC, chances are it's going to be an M80X rig. You know how big M80X PCs are? They're micro, but they're really still quite chunky, even with the most compact cases. And if you wanted to go with an ITX rig to match the size of an Xbox or a PS5, you're going to spend a lot more, and that really shifts that value all the way in PCs into consoles' favor. Of course, there is that argument against consoles when it comes to value about the price of games, because that's how Sony and Microsoft make most of their monies. Games are expensive on consoles because they're charging licenses to these game developers, and they're making a whole lot of money off PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Network, Xbox subscriptions, and of course expensive games. But the thing is, if you only play like 2 to 3 games a year, and I know most people just do just that, you're not going to really feel you're not really going to lose out on value. Sure, you pay $20 extra for that Call of Duty you buy every year, and that FIFA you buy every year, you pay $20 extra compared to the PC version. But it's, if you're only playing three games the whole year, then that total of $60 to $80 to $100, it's not going to make up for the difference in price when compared to a PC. So there's that. Of course, PCs have the ability to pirate games, so you can really save money that way. Not that I'm condoning it in any way. I'm just saying that people do that, and on PCs you have the ability to do awesome things like mod games, so you can unlock stuff, have a little bit more fun with it. On PCs you have indie games, more unique, smaller titles, but some of these things that also starting to appear on consoles. With the Xbox Series X trying to be very PC-like, I think mods are going to be appearing a lot more on consoles nowadays. And on top of that, things such as indie games, they're starting to get a platform and starting to get a place on consoles, and that is actually very exciting, because I love seeing indie games being able to prosper, because that's how you discover the Undertales of the world. That's how you discover the Cupheads, the Five Nights at Freddy's. All these things only exist because indie games could exist on PCs very easily with things like Steam, and I think it's going to go to consoles, and it seems like there are more and more indie games appearing on these consoles, so that's a good thing as well. But overall, overall my point is this: if you are someone who is looking for just a gaming machine, because not everyone works off a computer, and a lot of people who work off a computer already have a laptop they can work off of no problems. If you are looking just for a gaming machine for entertainment, for fun, because life sucks and we need to have fun, then frankly the PS5 and Xbox Series X are looking extremely appealing. And if you're the kind of person who doesn't have the time or energy to learn and build your own computer because you're too busy doing work or other things anyway, chances are you already have a laptop for work. Chances are you have the ability to buy expensive games, and chances are you're not going to be a modder and a tinkerer, and even higher, and as another chance, and chances are chances are you probably don't have that much time to play a lot of different games, so you're probably not going to buy that many games anyway. So my point is this: I think it's important to be objective with purchases. We're all PC master race, and I'm still going to be gaming on PCs a lot. I'm still going to be building a lot of PCs. I think for a lot of people, just having a computer at home that's fast, that can handle games, is going to give them a better gaming experience a lot of the time with things like FPS, and B, it's going to give them a lot more value with the ability to mod games, to get cheap old games, the ability to upgrade, the modularity, the ability to tinker. I think it's going to be still very good for a lot of people. But I think with the new generation of consoles, the value and the performance argument of PCs versus console, it's now shifted back to the console side of things for pure performance and pure just value, FPS per dollar. The consoles are looking extremely spicy, and if you just want a plug and play system, the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X, the value that they provide, immense. So yeah, that's that. But if you have the time to build a PC, just build one. You can do a lot with, but I think at the same time though, you shouldn't forget that PCs are still essential and powerful, and a lot of people don't discover how useful having a powerful computer is until they realize, hey, they want to learn coding, hey, they want to make YouTube videos, hey, they want to learn graphic design, hey, they want to learn different things. That a lot of work is moving back onto computers. And all these things require more and more powerful computers, and having that powerful computer might be a lot more value in a few years than they think it is right now. Oh yeah, and that's another point. computers can do work. And I think a lot of people are going to discover in the coming years that, hey, a lot of their work that they need to start learning how to do really requires that they know how to use a computer and know how to use a computer well and have a powerful computer. What I've seen is that a lot of professionals in different fields, they're starting to need to adapt, audio guys shifting to video, photographers shifting to video, live streams being created, people starting to live stream more, people trying to do all these things require a powerful computer. And I think while consoles for pure gaming is excellent, I think the value of a PC of a powerful PC is going to be like maybe not straight up there for a lot of people, but if you were to build a powerful PC now, in 3 to 4 years, when you suddenly realize, oh shit, I need to adapt to the changing economy, having that powerful PC already being there, it's gonna be like those kind of things where it's no value now, but for some people, not all, but for some people, it's gonna be like a surprise little bonus, and that value just hasn't appeared to you yet. I'm just ranting on at this point. So yeah, consoles versus PCs. I think for gaming right now, consoles are better. That's my conclusion. For just pure gaming value, consoles are better. But for everything else, obviously PC is better. If you do anything else that requires a little bit of PC power, just building a PC and getting a gaming rig, getting a gaming PC that can also do whatever professional work you're trying to do on your computer is going to be a better choice. Pros and cons, but man, those PS5 and Xbox Series X, I am actually extremely excited. I'm going to get one, probably play Cyberpunk on it and not much else, but exciting times. I love technology competition. I love how it's getting everything all spicy, exciting again, all cooked up, stirred up, and frankly super hype. Love this, and when this happens to the technology world, and you should too. Please, no childish arguments about PC versus console in the comments or in my Discord, which you should join for logical, rational arguments. Follow me on Instagram. I think I'm just gonna end this episode of the podcast here. This is the first episode. I wanted to start it off with something spicy. In the future, maybe I'll have some guests and all that, but for now, this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys found this little discussion and rant kind of podcast interesting. Do you agree, disagree? Tell me in the comments down below or on Discord, linked in description. Happy to help. I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow, the day after. I don't know. I'm gonna head up. See you soon.